It is my honor to introduce Wes Moore. Before I do, I want to explain a little bit about Maryland LCV's role and in the elections. One of our most important functions is to do the homework on candidates and endorse those whom we believe, based on their environmental platforms, their ability to lead, and their winnability, will work for Maryland's environment, regardless of political party. Of the candidates we endorsed during the primary, 92.6% won their races. And please note that endorsed candidates that could join us tonight are wearing buttons indicating that they've been endorsed by Maryland LCV. So during cocktail hour, be sure to give them a high five if you see that button. We're working diligently to ensure that our endorsed candidates also win the general election. And if I can brag for a second, I would like to point out that Maryland LCV was the only major environmental group to endorse Wes Moore in the primary. Right from the start, we saw that Mr. Moore had a unique skill set to address Maryland's environmental challenges. Mr. Moore has experience in the business, nonprofit, and philanthropic sectors, and in the military, which has offered him both a valuable breadth of experience and opportunities to work with government agencies from different vantage points. His approach to governance is based on the premise that the people closest to the challenge are closest to the solution. He is committed to ensuring that the public and private sectors work together to confront the major environmental issues facing Maryland. And he has a true commitment to addressing generations of environmental inequity. Maryland LCV is committed to ensuring that Mr. Moore becomes Maryland's next governor and succeeds in his efforts to position Maryland once again as not a, but the national leader in clean energy solutions. After tonight, we hope you too will be inspired to work with us. It is my absolute honor to now introduce Wes Moore, Maryland's next governor.
Thank you guys so much. Good evening. Good evening. It is an absolute joy to be with each and every one of you today. And oh, do I need to stand? Stay over here. And first, Lynn, bless you. And thank you for not just the beautiful introduction, but for you and for Kim and for the entire team from LCV. I can't express enough how much not just your endorsement means, but your vote of confidence. Your vote of confidence for this work, your vote of confidence for this campaign, your vote of confidence in this movement, your vote of confidence in Maryland. We are a better state because of you. We are a prouder state because of you. We are a bolder state because of you, and I cannot wait to work with you. So bless you and thank you so much. To our honorees, Madam Speaker, and the Senate President, congratulations on an award that is so well deserved. You and this entire delegation, you all pushed when it wasn't easy. You ensured that we got not just the strongest bill across a finish line, but you did it with an understanding and knowing that it might take a veto override to get it done. But you got it done. And it's not just that Marylanders now are the beneficiaries of your leadership and the leadership of LCV. It's that Marylanders for generations to come will be the beneficiaries of your leadership. Bless you and thank you for looking out for all of those who need and deserve a champion. And I have to tell you, when I first launched this campaign for governor, I said that there are three things that our state needed to tackle over this next decade. And there were three things that we were going to lead on to ensure that this state was going to tackle over this next decade. The first was that our state was going to be more competitive while also being more equitable, and that is not a choice. We will do both. The second, this state will close the racial wealth gap. The third, this state will address the issue of climate change and the climate injustice that continues to sit over the state of Maryland in this country. And I would have people who would ask me, they say, but how exactly, thinking about climate change and the environment, how exactly does it show itself? And particularly across the state. And specifically for people who might not feel that this is their issue. And my answer was simple. It shows itself in every way. It shows itself in the air that we breathe. It shows itself in the water that we drink. It shows itself on where we can live. It shows itself in the economic opportunities we have or do not have. In every single way, we are watching the opportunity that we have to be better, and we are watching the consequences of when we are not. Where we know we are right now standing in a place and in a space that right here in Baltimore City, when we can have children who have asthma at double the rate of the rest of the state, we know this is not an accident, and we know that climate and the environment has a distinct impact on that reality. We know that when we are watching extreme heat islands that exist all throughout the state of Maryland, that this is not an accident, and that's an environmental consequence. That we know that we were watching some of the basic frameworks of who we are and how we live and how they are impacted on the basic elements of our society. This is environmental impacts of what we are and are not taking seriously. And I'm here to very proudly say that I cannot wait to be a partner with this legislature and a partner with all of our organizations to include LCV, because on the second floor in Annapolis come January, you will have a partner and we will lead and take this seriously. We will ensure that we will work in partnership with the legislature to do things like making sure we have 100% clean energy by 2035, have net zero emissions by 2045, and by the end of my second term, the entire state fleet of vehicles in the state of Maryland will be electric. That will focus on electrifying the grid to ensure that all of the clean energy sources we are going to invest in, from wind to solar to electric, that Maryland is going to be the leader of clean energy around the country, and no longer will we be a net importer of clean energy. We will turn ourselves into a net exporter of clean energy. That we are going to work in partnership to address things like stormwater and wastewater management systems, the sequestration of carbon, that Maryland is going to use not just state but federal and private assets to ensure that our leadership on the issue of the environment is taken seriously, and the rest of the country will take notice that Maryland is leading, this legislature is leading, the executive branch is leading, and we will protect our future by any means necessary to get that done. And we know that in this moment, we are going to ensure that everybody is seen and heard in this conversation. That when you look at the Leave No One Behind agenda, that we will help and lead and usher into Annapolis, that means leave no one behind. That means from the western mountains to the eastern shore. That means from Harford and Cecil County to southern Maryland and everywhere in between. Every single Marylander will have an important seat at this table. Every single Marylander will understand their role in helping to address this issue, which is existential by nature, but treatable if we're willing to lead. Every single Marylander will understand why it's important that we move and we move now. And every single Marylander will see and understand the benefits of the great work that LCV and this legislature has done, and know that we will have an executive branch who is excited to partner with you all on it. So I say not only thank you for the work that you are doing, I say I can't wait for January because it's time to get some good work done. So God bless you guys and thank you. Thank you.